Hello and welcome to the Geek Remix Podcast, episode
10.
10. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Mari. We're back from winter break.
A very extended winter break.
Yeah, we've been really busy.
We basically survived the cold apocalypse here.
Oh my goodness, it was...
Oh my gosh, it was so cold.
And apparently on the other side of the world with people on the same latitude, right? Or is it longitude?
Longitude? You mean like on the opposite hemisphere?
No,
like
not the hemisphere. And people on the same latitude as us, but on the other side of the world, they're having an unusually warm summer.
Well, fuck them.
That's what
no, if it's summer, then it's longitude.
No. They're having an unusually warm winter.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about like Estonia and
like Andres and other people that we know. And people who are watching from Russia and stuff, I know that you're watching because I look at the analytics and stalk you. We appreciate you, and we're sorry that your winter is not as cold as you would like, unless you like it that it hasn't been that cold.
But you really don't want to be here right now.
Yeah, it's been like really crazy.
Yeah. We actually posted, I posted some photos to Twitter, not photos that I took, but of like the city of Chicago under ice lockdown. It was pretty cool.
I was a little bit concerned. Do you think that any homeless people got sick or?
I didn't hear anything about it, but
I hope that I'm pretty sure, I'm going to pretend that maybe the city took some provisions to be like, hey, like,
come inside,
you know. I'm pretty sure they must have done that because it's not like,
I mean, because that's just inhumane. It was 40 below.
Yeah, it was bad. What else? Oh, right. So we're back in business this week. Some games. There isn't any really gaming news happening right now because January's kind of a dry month for that. So
basically nothing good happens in January.
Yeah, it's just depression.
Unless you want to buy a house or get a new job.
Really?
Yeah. Because after the holidays, like, the market kind of upticks. People who collected their like, Christmas bonuses and everything, January is when they decide to make a career move. A lot more jobs, like, move around and stuff.
You know, an interesting thing about that, though, is that our channel and everyone else's channel, advertisers who pay for the ads on our channel and stuff, they don't pay as much for January.
Well, fuck them. Why?
I don't know, because it's like Christmas and everyone's buying presents.
Yeah.
As soon as January hit, I was like, oh man, we're making so much money. Oh, okay.
You know, because the retail market slows down in January. After everybody gets their holiday shopping out of the way, people are like, well, I don't want to go shopping again for at least another month.
Yeah, until I'm obligated to do it for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But I was being like, man, we're going places. Nope, we're not. Never mind. Kidding. Some games that I played were The Room on the iPad, which is 99 cents. And it's one of those gems that you find, because to me, in my opinion, it's hard to find good games these last few years on the iPad that really give you the same sense of engagement you get on consoles or PC or like dedicated handheld gaming devices. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yep, we got it.
On the DS, you have things that like long-term RPGs, and like on the console, you have that. But The Room, it's a really simple game, but you're basically in a room with this box, and you go through different layers of the box, trying to different puzzles to open the box to see what's inside, and you find letters, and you're basically trying to unravel this mystery around this box and what's inside of it. But it's like, the textures are really good, it looks pretty high def, the puzzles are, they're challenging.
For some reason, I'm picturing something like the movie The Cube.
Yeah.
Where there's, like, different puzzles in every room, but all of them kill you.
Well, no.
Because, like when you say, like...
Thematically, it's not like that. Like, it's not like that. You're basically looking at a box, but thematically, yeah, it is like that.
Yeah.
In
like
which...
different puzzles at every turn, and they each unlock something different.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And so it was pretty... I felt very satisfied playing the game, and it made me very happy. And then
Yay, boxes!
And I gifted Stacy Knights of the Old Republic on the iPad because I heard it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And heads up, guys, in case you've never played Knights of the Republic, there's alien lesbians in it.
Woo!
Classic BioWare. You can't have a BioWare without a lesbian alien.
I'm actually really looking forward to playing that game because the games that I've played so far on the iPad are
very simple, right?
Yeah, pretty simple. I haven't, I recommended that somebody else play what's the game with the wolf with the fairy tale characters?
Oh, the Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us, yes. So I actually recommended they play Wolf Among Us because we had played it and I've seen other people play it. And on the iPad, it's like pretty much, the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I played like Plants vs. Zombies, like things like that. But those are that type of like level style playing. I tend to like play through it, and then once I start having difficulty, I'm like, I'm bored.
I'm bored, not difficult.
I don't feel like trying anymore. This is too hard. So
I think an interesting thing that I noticed that as I said before, like games on tablets, I feel as if are not there's not enough, like that feeling of falling into it.
Yeah.
And lately they've been porting a lot of games to the iPad, like The Wolf Among Us, The Walking Dead, or older games like Knights of the Old Republic, or older JRPGs and stuff like Final Fantasy. And then over winter break, I saw all these like little kids with all their little tablets that they got for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and being like, I was sitting there at my parents' country club dinner place, and this couple had like a million little blonde girls.
Sidebar, it freaks me out that kids are growing up in a world where there have always been tablets. What?
I know, right? So
what?
And then I was sitting there like, all these kids at the table were playing with their tablets. And I was thinking back to when I was a kid and everyone played with their Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Love my Game Boy.
Is this the new thing? Because for them, they can buy a game for 99 cents and the game can be completely like superficial and just like a very simple game. Mm-hmm. But they can have a ton of those games. But for us, we were like, all right, I have to choose which game I want. And that game is going to last me for like,
Do you remember playing Pokemon for like hundreds of hours?
Yeah, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Or like going and finding all the secrets in Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering, like, how is that going to affect the next generation of gamers?
And yeah.
But at the same time, I saw tons and tons of little girls playing with their tablets, playing games. So I feel like that's really...
Girl gamers!
Yeah. Like,
yes.
Yeah, there's like... So, like, because these tablets are available to everyone and they're used for so many different things, games are also available to little girls.
Well, that's why mobile is so big right now because, and I was talking to my boss about this. She was like, how do they capture, gaming is like a finite industry because, there's only so many people that want to game. And I was like, not true. Because if you capture women as... like a gaming audience, everybody has phones now. A lot of people have smartphones. A lot of people game with their smartphones that might not necessarily buy a PS4 or buy an Xbox.
And with all these like more like not hardcore but more engaging games being put onto like the tablets and stuff, that's like bringing people in with the Wolf Among Us, The Walking Dead, and all those things. Like, so I thought that was pretty interesting, especially with the kids playing all their stuff. But let's not go into how the kids can get on the internet because I don't know.
Scary.
I don't know. I have no idea. Another game that Stacey and I are going to quick look is that Don't Starve just came out on the PlayStation 4. And that seems pretty... I was playing it. I was kind of hesitant to see how the controls would translate from the PC to the PS4. And surprisingly, it's pretty okay. I mean, overall, it's a pretty simple game that, easy to learn, hard to master.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game about where you try to live as long as you can, and every time you die, your overall account gets more experience, which unlocks more characters. And it's not microtransaction, and it's free if you get PlayStation Plus, and it's $15 if you do not have PlayStation Plus. It's really addicting, and I love it so much. And what else? Oh,
It's like a lot of blank note cards there.
yeah, it's a lot of blank note cards. I dropped the other one somewhere. And upcoming is Assassin's Creed Liberation, which is going to be put onto consoles. I think it's Xbox One, Xbox, PS4, and I think the 360 and PS3, but I can't be sure. And I've been wanting to play this game for a long time, but I never had a PS Vita. So it's basically Assassin's Creed, but with an African-American woman who is an assassin, I think.
Which is, oh my god,
In
that'd be
colonial
so cool.
America. So that's pretty cool. Even if they don't touch on the exact subjects that would probably be
that would
needed.
most definitely bring up.
Yeah, most definitely bring up. It's just cool to have that, right? I mean, that'd be interesting. That's cool.
Can you think of any other big games like that have a African American female lead?
Remember Me, but also I think by the time the game released, her skin tone was lightened a little. I mean, don't quote me on that. I just remember the trailers a long time ago. She was a little bit darker. Mm-hmm. And then by the end, it wasn't so
They're
much
like, let's make her a little, her, a little more ambiguous.
Yeah, I was like, but the game ended up being just okay. So, whatever. Oh, there have been other games with non-white female characters, like Mirror's Edge had an Asian female lead character. I
feel like, no offense, but I don't want to count Asian women in this because of the gaming industry.
Oh yeah, because half the games come from Asia.
Yeah,
so that's true.
And because,
that's true.
And because white people can kind of view Asians as like the other white people.
Yeah, they do. But they're like...
You're like the exotic white people.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it.
I know. And I know like, you hate it, but like...
I'm just pointing it out. And then they always put Asian people as like the gangsters that are not offensive to cast as gangsters.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah.
What else is happening? Oh, talk about that thing.
Okay, so there was... I know that... After Google kind of integrated Google Plus with the YouTube comments, there was kind of a little outcry, I guess you could call it.
A little frustration. At what happening.
And there's a really good article on Mashable. It's an op-ed piece. So at the very top it states, this post reflects the opinions of the author and not necessarily those of Mashable as a publication. But anyway, nevertheless, if you've had any frustrations with the Google Plus integration, I think that it enlightens those frustrations pretty well. So, the one paragraph that like really stood out to me that I wanted to read to you guys was, what Google seems maddeningly unaware of is that nobody can ever be forced into having a party. That in fact, the forcing is what makes a party impossible. If a host made you promise to go to his party before you could pass comment on a TV show in your own home, if he co-opted your local mail service to send you constant invitations from people you've never heard of, if he boasted about how many other people were going because he'd forced them to RSVP, well, would that make you more or less likely to attend his shindig?
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically saying like that Google is holding people holding YouTube hostage to get people to join Google Plus, but like social media doesn't really work that way. People.
I still don't use it. Like technically, I'm using it for the channel, but I'm not like using it. I'm not going on to Google Plus to look at other people's stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The only reason I'm technically using it is because the comment system forces you to share it to Google Plus.
Yeah.
And it's it's like nuts. Like
I don't want to open up that whole frustration all over again, but Mari will put a link to the article in
everything. Yeah.
In the information section, so you guys can go check it out for yourselves.
Yeah.
It's basically entitled "Sorry Google Plus, we still won't come to your party."
It's just like nobody was using Google Plus, and so they integrated it into YouTube. But there are advantages to using Google Plus. For example, if somebody is friends of a friend of somebody who's watched your videos or liked your videos, if they Google something like Beyond Two Souls Let's Play, our video will search higher in Google.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a benefit for us, but I'm not entirely sure if that makes the legitimacy of their search engine like the best. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Well, because if they're populating higher videos of people that are close to you, then maybe you're you're looking for something completely different, and it's not objective anymore.
Yeah, and also it works for articles. Like if like a friend of a friend liked an article about, I don't know, dogs, and
I was just about to say puppies. Holy shit! Yeah. Oh my god!
And
Mari just read my mind.
And then you looked up dogs. That article's gonna show up saying, "Hey," and then blah 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 blah, like this. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
So
yes, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Bloop bloop.
Yeah, of course.
Another thing that I was reading about was, so Gartner is a research institute that basically makes predictions about the future. You can only take predictions so far because they are predictions. A lot of them like look to the past to predict the future. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to see like what people think is going to be the next big thing, because sometimes you wouldn't otherwise think about these things. And something that's been a really hot topic lately is gamification. Mm-hmm. And it's basically where businesses are using video games to like market products, to teach things, to conduct job interviews, stuff like that. And there's been like gamification strategies for a lot of like Fortune 500 companies, including AstraZeneca, Kellogg's, and Black & Decker. Mm-hmm. And there's even like gamification like courses, like graduate courses, to teach people how to develop like marketing opportunities within games.
You know, the Army does that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the Army makes video games as a form of recruitment.
That makes sense.
And it's creepy, right?
Yeah. But like Under Armour, the like fitness company, acquired MapMyFitness to boost interest in its brand among fitness enthusiasts. MapMyFitness engages like 20 million registered users through its website and interactive applications. Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, the research group Gartner predicted that 40% of global 1,000 organizations will use gamification as the primary mechanism to transform business operations.
So what do you mean by business operations?
Basically, I'm not exactly sure what they're referring to here, but like what really stuck out to me was like that it's the primary mechanism. Mm-hmm. Not just that they will use it, but that it will be like the primary mechanism.
So like business operations as in like, remember when they were like making video games for hiring people?
Yeah, like making video games for hiring people.
And for marketing?
For marketing. Marketing is a big one actually, because I don't know if you remember Chex Quest. Okay, so Chex Quest was a game that came out in 1996. I actually played Chex Quest. I loved it when I was a little kid, I was really little, by the way, in case you're trying to guess how old I am.
Yeah, like 2.
Like, yeah, I was like super young back then. But anyways, Chex Quest was the first video game to be included in a cereal box as a prize.
Oh.
It came on a CD-ROM, and you played it on your computer.
I remember all those types of games used to come in my cereal. Carmen Sandiego came in like this box of cereal, and my friend and I sat at my computer and like we just played it.
Yeah, and it was super fun. You play as a Chex. It was basically modeled after Doom. And so
what?
Yeah, right? but it's non-violent because you're like shooting like green goo at things. So it's not like really a gun. You're not like really killing things.
That sounds like the most amazing thing ever.
It was super fun. And so and like there's like green slimy creatures and you have to like zorch them, which is, you know, instead of like killing them, you zorch things. But that was like a really early example of companies using gamification for advertising because it was aimed at kids 6 to 9 and older. Mm-hmm. And that's basically an opportunity for them to like increase awareness of their brand and get kids saying like, sweet, I want to play Chex Quest. All my friends have Chex. And so then the parents have to go buy corn Chex to get the game. And I think this will start happening more. I think that companies will like release games to like get little kids, not even though they aren't the ones that's going to be buying the product, like kids.
I'm pretty sure they already do that. I mean, I remember playing Neopets and there was all kinds of like games on Neopets for like movies and like TV shows or toys that you can buy. Like, there were all kinds of things.
Yeah, and I think this is going to start happening more and more. And I think that's kind of like what they're talking about with gamification being so big. And there's like even beyond like that's like a pretty direct link with gamification. But I think that there's also going to be, you know, any interactive application is.
We'll be right back after this short break.
So basically, I just expect to see this trend increase, and you know, we'll see companies take this in different directions in the future. I'm not sure exactly what, but you know, I think there could be opportunities beyond just advertising and marketing.
You think that?
I mean, I never would have thought of job interviews by gaming, so already they're coming up with things that.
You think that they could turn people's like boring jobs into games?
Analytics, or
you know what I mean? Like when people have like data entry or I don't know, just any old game, any old job, and then they can like turn it into some sort of game, and maybe that would increase productivity a lot or something.
I mean, one of the things that I remember from when I was a kid is that my brother and I used to play this game. It was kind of like a learning game.
Was it like 4th grade adventures?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember what it was, but it was kind of weird. And a lot of the things were like, you know, matching different things. Like, I remember one of the games was you had to match chemical elements to their periodic table thing. But, like, they made it into a game so that it wasn't just, like, memorization. Like, you were actually trying to, like, match, and you were building blocks of, like, different types, like, stacks of different types of elements. And so you learned, like, the chemical groups. And I mean, obviously, you're not thinking about that while you're playing it. But I still remember a lot of the... Like, if you showed me a bunch of things from the periodic table, I could probably tell you, like, what the chemical elements are. So... I think there's big opportunities in that.
One video that I saw this week that isn't exactly new technology. I mean, this is like a year-old news, but I found this video
crazy
of Shiri, the emotional butt robot. And this is a robot that expresses human emotions through the butt.
And it's ridiculous.
It expresses fear, anxiety, relaxation, and all kinds of things.
Now, when I watched this, I didn't really see what was so, like, like the reactions didn't seem to be very like.
Well, maybe you have to be touching the butt in order to
like feel the sensation.
To feel how this butt feels.
Maybe you have to feel the butt to understand
how it feels. Because that guy was like rubbing the butt,
stroking it. Oh my god.
Rubbing the butt, stroking the butt, slapping the butt. Watch as the butt reacts in fear. Like,
yeah. What?
It tightens up. Our dog is squeaking its toy. This is not the time for toy squeaks, AJ. We understand. Let me feel your butt. I feel that you need to play with the toy, but you can't right now. Okay, AJ? Thank you.
My thing is gone.
Done?
Mm-hmm.
Mine's almost gone. The thing she's talking about are these miracle berries. And basically...
They're tablets.
They're tablets that you rub all over your tongue and they dissolve. And then... They basically block the bitterness receptors on your tongue for flavor. So you can find these on Amazon or thinkgeek.com or whatever. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to try some citrus fruits. So you want to try the lime or the lemon first?
I'll try the lemon.
Okay,
I'm like nervous because I don't know if I got it on the tip of my tongue enough. Should I lick it or should I just squeeze it into my mouth?
Eat it any way you like. I was nervous the first time too.
Whoa!
I know, it's crazy, right?
That tastes really weird.
Yeah, like medicine.
Yeah.
So basically, we're tasting this lemon without the bitterness that comes with it. So imagine tasting a lemon with none of the sourness it has. Stacy's going all out right now.
This is crazy.
You want to try the lime next?
So like...
What does it taste like to you?
It tastes like cleaning fluid.
Then why do you keep eating it?
No, because it's confusing. Like, it doesn't taste like, oh my god, it's a lemon. It just tastes, it tastes like how cleaning fluid smells. Because I've never drank cleaning fluid, you know what I mean?
Here, no, let's try the lime next.
Okay.
So the lime is also a sour thing, the bitterness. So it kind of has a fake taste to it, doesn't it? There's a really strange, like, aftertaste to it, like it's fake.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what limes taste like without the bitterness, or is that the miracle berry?
I think the aftertaste is the miracle berry. I think if we were like an animal... Well, no, maybe that's not true. Because limes do kind of have like a weird... Maybe the aftertaste of the lime is cut by the bitterness of it, so you don't notice it, you know?
So, but the thing is, though, when we try oranges, there's none of that aftertaste. It's pure sweetness. So we're going to try some oranges now.
What the fuck?
Isn't that the sweetest?
What the fuck is this?
It's so sweet, right? It tastes like...
Ugh.
So it's sweet, right? Stop eating it if you don't like it. It's like, what does it taste like to you?
It tastes like sugar.
Yeah, it tastes like pure sugar. Like if you were drinking a glass of liquid sugar.
It tastes like liquid sugar, like hummingbird fluid or something.
Yeah, it tastes like hummingbird fluid. Which
is basically sugar water.
Yeah. It tastes like really thick sugar water. But not like icing. It's like
maybe...
Like...
Because like...
Nectar?
Yeah.
Tastes like what nectar would taste like. I like it, but like you can't keep eating it because it's just an overpowering flavor.
I cannot. Do not want.
Ugh. It tastes good, but it's like such a strong sweetness that it's like...
Yeah.
Too much. You know why? I think if we did this to other fruits, we would have the same reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how when you're eating different foods, it has different flavors in it? Oh, tell them what you're doing. What did that taste like?
It doesn't appear to affect it very much. So I have an electronic cigarette. Those of you who follow me on Twitter may be aware that I recently quit smoking cigarettes and now I smoke electronic cigarettes, which still have nicotine, but they don't have carcinogens, therefore do not cause cancer. There's a lot of research still to be done because there's like a There's some type of hormone that's
Try
in
the
them.
South Beach one.
There's some type of hormone in them, but anyways. But that hormone is also in, like, the foods that we ingest.
Why do you think that it doesn't really affect the smoking? Because it's, like, fake flavors?
I wonder if it's, like, because I'm inhaling it, I'm getting it. I mean, it doesn't... It's weird, though, because I still have the taste of that orange in my mouth. I feel kind of, like...
Okay, try the South Beach one. Just try to get it in your mouth like it's a cigar.
I don't think it tastes too different.
Do you think that's because it's like...
I think maybe it's because it's artificial.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're not bitter when you know?
I was just curious because I've never eaten candy after, like, eating this. After having the Miracle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just curious. That was interesting. So in case you guys are wondering,
I'm burping.
they still taste like lemons and limes still kind of taste gross after you had these Miracle Berries.
But it's weird because I feel like lemons and limes taste better when you can taste the bitterness, and I think
that's what makes them good.
Yeah, but I almost think it's because it's either because we're so accustomed to them tasting bitter that they taste better that way, or because the bitterness cuts that weird sickly sweet flavor. We'll never really know, will we?
No, we won't. I guess all fruits have a little bit of citrusness to it, right? I don't know.
I mean, that's a great question. I don't know if I know the answer to that.
I don't know if you're humoring me or being
No.
I
I can't postulate on, like, if other fruits have citrus in them. I don't think so.
Not citrus itself, but the essence of...
The essence of water, and water is the essence of beauty.
You know what it was like? You know how grapes are really, really sweet and they have nothing else to cut that with?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was like
Yeah.
to taste those. The orange.
But why did we like grapes then?
Because grapes are oranges are mostly liquid. That's mostly sugar liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And a grape has a little bit more to it.
No.
I'm so sorry. I ate a burger for lunch, everybody. Please excuse me.
It's okay. Oh, and back to the emotional butt robot. What?
Oh, I don't have any.
Okay, just pour it. She's pouring herself a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because she's proper.
I want to try all the things.
Oh, yeah. Try the tea.
Mm-hmm.
This tea is...
It's like lavender and like
There's lavender. It's cream of Earl Grey with lavender in it.
You know what? So the lavender tastes more pronounced. Like you can like, here, try it. You can like, it almost, I used to get these lavender candies from Target.
You're right.
It's stronger, right?
It's stronger.
I feel like this would be like a really funny thing to try if we had like a whole bunch of like little bits of things.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just out of like a curiosity thing. I mean, this was pretty cool because we tried like...
You know what this would be great for? Because these wear off after an hour. Is to like have them for a party or some sort of social gathering.
Yeah.
And have a tasting party.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, if we knew lots of people, then maybe we could do that.
If we knew anyone
Besides us.
But there's no one outside, Stacy.
No.
There's nothing.
Everybody
Don't go outside without me, Stacy. Everyone's dead. Okay?
Everybody died in the big freeze. We're all alone. We're trapped.
Is there anything else that we talk about?
Yeah, the Consumer Electronics Show.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
The Consumer Electronics Show with the most not so great stuff.
No, there is some cool stuff. Okay, so very quickly, I read through this article on Fast Company. Link in the description.
Yeah.
Okay. And
email me all those links just in a single.
In a single? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm going to go through. They had 12 of the best ideas from CES 2014. So if you want to check out the article itself, I'm going to run through what their ideas are.
And we'll tell you if they're stupid.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Because that's our job.
That's our job.
Since we weren't there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is the Oculus Rift Crystal Cove.
I've heard some good things about this game.
Yeah?
But I guess it's easy to have a really awesome game if it's attached to your face.
Seriously. I find the idea of this to be so fucking cool. And I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this yesterday, and I was just like, imagine where this is going to be in 5 to 10 years.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be just like the movie Gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard some really cool concepts that people were using for the Oculus Rift in terms of, like, not just being like, hey, you're a battlefield, like, shoot shit. It was like, I don't know if it was Crystal Cove or if it was, like, called Leviathan or something, but basically you, like, walk into the water and it's completely pitch black, and then you, like, see creepy things and, like, this light in the distance and a giant screaming thing. Like, it seems like it could take horror to the next level.
Yeah!
And
oh my god!
There's this other game that I heard about. It was like you're sitting on a couch playing a video game with the Oculus Rift on your eyes. So in the Oculus Rift, what you're seeing is you on a couch playing a game.
Whoa.
And then
it's kind of like that dream you have where you're floating above your body.
Yeah. So as you're playing the game starts commenting on what's happening around you. And so when you look around, there'll be like a creak in the house, and the game will comment on that. And
Whoa.
it starts getting creepier and creepier.
Oh my god. You know, one of the I forget like what system I was looking at, but it actually, instead of you being like inside another world, you're still like, when you look around, I would still see like the bedroom that's around us, but it superimposes other things into it. So like there would be zombies in your own living room. How terrifying is that?
That's so creepy.
Yeah, so like you could like walk around your house like with the goggles on your face, and you would like encounter things like in your own house. Stuff of nightmares, right? Because then, like, what's reality and what's not?
You don't ever give that to someone who has trouble with their brain.
Who has trouble with things.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You evil person, do it.
All right. Then there was the Lacy Sphere. The Lacy Sphere is basically just a spherical hard drive.
Yeah, but it's not, like, when I first saw it, I was like, they made a hard drive that's spherical, and then I realized that it's not a spherical hard drive. It's literally a normal terabyte hard drive. Excuse me.
In a spherical casing.
In a spherical casing. But it's made in France, and it's plated with silver. Like, what?
No, granted, it does look really cool, and it's kind of a step up from, like, the rectangular electronics that we're all really accustomed to seeing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't think that this is, like...
worth the top 10.
Yeah. I anticipate this as being something in like a sharper image catalog.
Yeah, it's not awesome.
Yeah. Now, the next was LG Webos TV. Mm. Now, this is basically just a type of user interface for your television. So, see how it's like you've got your sliding bar of all your different services at the bottom? Mm-hmm. And basically, it's just a navigation system that looks really cool for your television. And granted, it does look pretty neat, but at the same time, I kind of feel a little underwhelmed by it.
Yeah, I feel like this top 10 is not good.
Okay. And the next one is June. And June is basically one of like the wearable fitness accessories, but it looks like an actual bracelet. And so they're starting to... The idea is that they're starting to take, like, the, you know, personal electronic device, like the wearable technology, instead of just being, like, essentially a rubber band that's around your wrist, or, like, you know, one of those, like, Live Strong bracelets.
Yeah.
Instead of looking like that, it would look like an actual piece of jewelry.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's basically a crystal. You'll see it in the podcast video for YouTube. It looks like
on a leather band.
Yeah, it looks like a crystal on a leather band. It looks very very simple, modern.
And I would anticipate there being a lot more stuff like this, because anybody anybody who's like, very fashion conscious isn't gonna want to wear like the goofy like wearable bracelets that they have now, like the Nike whatever they are. But if you make it, imagine like in the future when it could just be like, instead of having this like specific bracelet, you could just like attach it onto your watch, and it's your watch. Like you bought your own watch, and then they just attach something onto it. Or they're like these really nifty bracelets, and you have one for each outfit. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, but this bracelet, it from what I read, it just tells you if you've had too much sun.
Well, that's like one of the things that it can do. I don't know. Basically, what it says about it is that, like, whether you like the aesthetic of the large gem or not, the June is a precursor to a more fashionable era of wearables to come.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
It is true. The next one is the 9450 basketball. Now, the NBA has recently installed, like, a whole bunch of cameras, like, above the all of the NBA courts, so that they can track, like, exact player movements and, like, where they shoot from, who they pass to, how fast they're running, how many all the analytics for that are huge, like, intense, because there's a whole bunch of statistics beyond just, like, how many shots did they take and how many did they miss, like, depending on, like, where a player shoots on the court, like, their percentage could be a lot higher than other places. Now, what the 9450 basketball does is it's fitted with sensors to teach you more about your shooting, and all the information is shared via an accompanying iPhone app. But to turn the ball on, you just start dribbling, which basically means that, like, if you really like basketball and you're really into, the what do they call it? Like the quantified self, and you want to figure out, like, how do I change the angle of the ball, like, that I'm shooting it to, like, make myself better at basketball, and you're just curious about it, like, you would have a 9450 basketball. Start dribbling it, like, play a game of pickup basketball, and it will give you all these readouts on, how it can be better, whatever.
No. I like that. That's cool. That would be really good for dads who are forcing their children to play basketball and obsessively make them do it.
They have a tennis racket out that's very similar to this that just came out. It's another, like, PED, and it, like, the amount of things that the sensors in the racket can track, it's, like, really cool.
The thing about a tennis racket or a baseball bat is that there are differing opinions as to what makes a good tennis racket swing or a baseball bat swing. So I think that they would have to make that adjustable or something as to what you're looking for.
But what's interesting is that even though there are different opinions about what makes it better, could in the future analytics dispel that there is a difference and say, like, well, actually, for you specifically, this is what would make you better. For you specifically, this is what would make you better. Forget, like, what all these pros are trying to tell you, because the pros are going to tell you what they think is best for you, but what if the analytics could tell you what actually is making you better? If you're swinging the ball too fast, or the bat too fast, if you're swinging the racket at the wrong angle, for your body specifically, it's going to tell you with the analytics. And so basically, if you're a sports fan who has a lot of money and also kind of likes nerd stuff, then I think this is like...
And has a child that you want to force into the major leagues.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, can you imagine, like, what this would do for... Oh my god.
Overbearing dads?
Exactly.
Thanks, Dad.
And then the next one isn't really a specific product. It's just sensors shaping behavior. So, even though there are a lot of fitness bands out there right now, most of them just tell you about, like, wearable electronics. Most of them are just data collection at this point. They don't actually tell you what to do about it. That's why the June product that we were talking about earlier, that's why that's different, because for it to recommend sunscreen for you, that's it actually taking a step to intervene in your life. Whereas, like, a fitness band tells you, like, this is your blood pressure, this is how many steps you took, but they don't go to the step of, like, this is what you need to do about it. You know? And so this next one is basically saying that sensors will stop informing and start intervening.
Oh, like, hey, quit it.
Yeah, like, hey, you've been sitting on your ass for 8
Get
hours. Get up.
Get the fuck up.
Do something. Or, you know, stop sitting in the sun. I know you're sunburned. I know you are.
I can sense it.
And the next one is Aura, which is an alarm clock that uses LED lights to kind of like, so your circadian rhythm system.
Don't move around so much because it's making the mic shake.
Am I moving?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
So, your circadian rhythm system is basically how your body tells that it should go to sleep or wake up based on the movements of the sun. And that's why things like LED screens and like staring at screens can actually be really bad for you, because they can mimic sunlight in that it like fucks with your body and makes it feel like, oh, it's not time to go to bed yet because there's still light coming in and I should stay awake. So what this alarm clock does is it uses like a blue light to mimic like the light of the sun, and it has like a sensor underneath your pillow that senses like if you're in like deep sleep or if you're in light sleep, and like what exact time is the best time to wake you up, using that like the gentle blue light next to your bed to like, it's like almost like your personal sunrise. The problem that I thought of is like, well, but I need to get up at the same time every day. So that's all well and good that it can sense what time I should get up, but like I have to be up.
Well, what if you can program it to make it so that you're going to sleep and waking up at the right time?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I mean, it does.
But they already have things like that, so
yeah.
Call an alarm clock.
I know. But I mean, I do think it would be cool if it has the function where you could set it for like a range of time. So say I need to be up by 8 o'clock in the morning, and I set it for like any time between 7 and 8. And so, you know, if it's 7:15 and it senses that like my body is like at prime waking up compatibility,
yeah,
then it would wake me up, but it wouldn't wake me up any later than 8.
That'd be great.
Yeah. The next one is the Polaroid C3, which is basically just a little cube.
No, I thought that was really great.
I know,
I thought that was amazing.
Because it's essentially 1 1/4 inch waterproof cube that shoots 120 degrees of high def video. So
one
it's
thing
really small.
I really
liked
that it was waterproof.
Mm-hmm.
Because that gives you an edge up on your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just a little cube, and you can do, I bet you can like do like things with it, like strap it to your head or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they have a camera that's strapped to your head.
GoPro, but that's cheaper and more versatile. So I just thought that was really great. It's basically a cube.
And that's from Polaroid, so they are definitely still working to get
a great design
relevant in the digital age. And the next one is Keeker, which is, it's kind of like a little R2-D2 that rolls around your house and projects an image wherever you want it to.
Scares the shit out of your dog.
Seriously.
Projects an image. What kind of image?
Well, it projects, so say I wanted to have instead of having a projector that you like mount on the ceiling or on the wall and it can only go to the same spot, it would roll around your house and
following you?
I don't know exactly how it works, but you could have like it project here and then you could have it project there. So if this got really good, you might not need televisions because you could just...
But then you would need walls that are good for that, though.
True. Or you could just have a screen that pulls down.
Well, then you could just use a regular projector that does 7 HD and stuff.
But the projector can't move.
Oh, it's wireless.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't get it.
I was like, sitting there like, so it's a projector.
No, it's essentially just like a little ball with a projector.
Oh, great, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, PlayStation Now.
Yes. So I didn't know if you've heard about this.
I've heard a little bit. Is that the one where you can play games streaming online?
Yes.
That is relevant to a point that's going to come up that I'm going to talk about in a minute.
That is relevant to me because
this. Tell them about it.
Basically, Sony bought a game streaming company called Gaikai.
Mm-hmm.
Their PlayStation Now is a service that will stream PS3 and PS4 games to Sony gaming consoles and Bravia televisions, much like an interactive version of YouTube.
So it's like on live.
Yeah. This is exciting because it portends a future in which we'll no longer need to buy expensive hardware to render and store high-end interactive entertainment locally, or when you could play a PlayStation game on anything.
But the thing is, though, you are relying on your internet, and you're basically taking up all the bandwidth in the house for it.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that in a minute, after you're done giving the list.
Okay. So the next thing is Mother.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this goofy little doll thing, and it comes with a bunch of it's cute though. So it's a base unit, and then it comes with 4 sensors that you can stick on anything. I don't know exactly how these sensors would work.
Me too. I was reading it being
Because-
like, how can they sense 17 different things?
Yeah, and they're all completely different. So what they say is that it comes with 4 sensors you can stick anywhere you want, like in your pocket where it can be a pedometer, on your coffee maker where it can track your consumption and bean supply, or to track day-to-day activity and notify you via email, text, or even a phone call when something of note has happened. And it says that it doesn't require the user to code a logic behind each unique activity. It comes with preset programmed activities. So
I wonder if it gives you the option to be able to do that.
So it must give you the option to enter the, code it yourself. But I think it also comes with a bunch of options like stick it on the washer or dryer until when the laundry is done.
It must be purely going off of vibrations then, and then using those vibrations to infer what's actually happening.
But how would it track your coffee consumption?
Because your coffee maker vibrates when it's being used.
But
and it's assuming how much coffee you're using per use. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is say, I use this much coffee per use, and then every time it vibrates, aka making it seem like it's the coffee's being used, it would do that. This is all just an assumption.
Yeah. But what I would want it to be able to tell is I don't know. Sticking it on a coffee maker to me is a little useless because I drink coffee from many different sources. I drink coffee at work, you'll get it on the go and you drink it
I
at
think
home.
you can
So
just
how
use
would
it
it know?
for anything that vibrates as a function of its use.
Yeah. I do know, one of the other things I was reading about is, one of, the little home cleaner robots where you can send it a text message when you're on your way home, and it'll go back to its docking station and get out of your way.
Get the fuck out of the way, robot.
Yep.
I'm coming home.
Coming home.
Oh, did you know that there's a collar for dogs that
Shocks them, kills them,
lets them
shaves them.
That takes pictures of what they're doing and tweets out what they're doing?
Oh my god, that's awesome.
AJ Twitter. Crying, panic attack, dying, hungry.
And the last thing on this list was curved displays. Curved televisions have been a huge trend at CES this year, and while yes, that seems boring unto itself, it doesn't to me. Such curvy screens will drive a whole new wave of innovation across products that today have nothing to do with your television. Now, they're coming out with curved cell phone screens,
Which bend.
which can bend, which is the future.
That's helpful.
The future could be flexible phones that don't break. It's already helpful because they discovered how to make the screens out of plastic instead of glass.
You know what I find really interesting is that they can have all the parts bend too.
Mm-hmm. Well, not yet.
Well, no, because I saw that commercial. They bent it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, so the motherboard must be in pieces or in one part or the other,
something.
Because it can't be all one solid piece the whole way through.
Yeah.
So I was just sitting there being like, how do they do that? Better get one and open it up. Like,
but the curved television screens would definitely be really cool because so when you watch a movie in IMAX, the screen is actually curved towards you, like what is it? Concave. Yes, it's concave, which makes this it mimics your natural vision because the center point is farther away from you than the points on the outside. Those are closer.
The trouble with that, though, is that you would have to be relatively close to the television.
Surprisingly, I don't think it makes too much of a difference unless you have a couch that is, unless you, even if you had a couch that was like 12 people wide, they would still get this relatively the same viewing experience.
Depending on how big the TV is, I'm sure there must be some sort of ratio.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but mostly the curved screen televisions, like the ones that they have coming out, are huge.
Oh, well,
they're meant for like
they're meant for rich people.
They're meant for like like the television that I have at my house, like that size. Yeah. I mean, even like a little bit smaller, but I think the wave.
So like a 40-something inch.
Yeah, something like that. So, and I mean, they're also like really HD. They're, it gives you like a more immersive viewing experience. They have a television where you can actually it can switch.
It can switch, like it can bend.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
whoa!
Yeah, like it can go from curved to flat.
It's the future. They're really stepping up the TV innovation game since everyone was like, I have an HD TV now.
Well, and then they're coming out with 4K TVs, which like blow HD out of the water.
But you don't know. Come on. Data is already huge. I can't take any more gigs of my movies. Thank you.
I know. It's going to be pretty incredible.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's like the more you read about this stuff and the more you look to like what they're doing in the future, the more you're like, holy shit, time stopped moving so fast.
Oh, speaking of data and stuff, there was.
I keep thinking you're talking about Star Trek.
People like internet companies are starting to implement a data cap. I think it was Comcast. They're testing out 300 gigabyte caps for people who use lots of internet, and then you can buy more gigs, like 50 at a time, for $10.
How annoying.
And the problem with this is, considering all the things we were talking about with PlayStation Now and YouTube and everything, is that you can use a gig in an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
And
no problem.
Especially with PlayStation Now, you're streaming high definition video game footage, like for an extended period of time. You're gonna blast 300 gigs in a very short amount of time, especially if there's more than one internet user in the house.
Yeah.
So it's gonna affect. And they say that most users don't use that much internet in a month, but I don't think that's true. I mean, especially if you use Netflix. Netflix is like 700 megabytes an hour. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem... It's just a direction that some internet providers are going, and I'm not entirely sure it's great. Especially since like the consoles were originally going to be always on, connected to the internet, which was one of the main reasons people were like, I don't want that because that's going to take up bandwidth for everyone else in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I don't think so.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.